Hello and welcome to the Winter Disco channel. In this video, we're going to look at the dollar cost for the example combat patrol forces shown over on the Warhammer Community website. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out. I will be showing the costs in Australian and US dollars as well as in UK pounds, so you get an idea of what you would be paying, but I will be, in the voiceover, I will be saying the Australian amount simply because I don't want to throw a whole bunch of numbers up in the air and probably get them wrong. But of course, you can get cheaper prices from local and online game stores, so the price is really just a guide on what you can expect to pay. I love the idea of the small point costs of this game. It's clearly a way for people to get into the game without having to drop a huge amount of money. And we all know that the Warhammer hobby is not extremely cheap. It's very much a luxury hobby. So like a lot of people, I have to be careful about what I spend my money on. I don't particularly want to blow all my bank account on a couple of models. And with the combat patrol size, it's a game that is specifically designed for proper play and not really an afterthought. It makes it easier to try out new armies without destroying your bank account. Before I go into the exact prices, I should note that I'm looking at this from a very high level as someone who doesn't play the game, but thinking of getting into the game without spending a lot of money. My background is very much more about buying models and reading the books and looking at the art. So I'm going to give you a general idea of how the armies would play without going into much of the nitty-gritty details and focus on what you get for your money. So let's begin with the new Indomitus models. While they've given lists for Necrons and Space Marines, these use the new models from the Indomitus box set, so we don't actually have a price for them. Because of that, we're going to skip over it from a cost perspective. But to give you an idea, there's various rumours around setting the price at £120 or 210 Australian dollars, and even I think there's some speculation that it could be 200 US dollars. Whether that's actually correct, I'm not sure, because you do get a ton of models in this box, and I don't think we'll really know until there is an official price. So there really isn't any point going into how much it will actually cost. The good thing though is if you do get the Indomitus box set, you'll have 2 combat patrol armies ready to go with a whole bunch of extra models. So even without knowing the price, the value will probably be worthwhile, particularly if you go ahead and sell one half of the box. So first, we'll look at the Indomitus Necrons. You get a few models in this one. You get the Scorpic Lord, 3 Scorpic Destroyers, 10 Necron Warriors, and another unit of 10 Necron Warriors. So you get 14 models in this list, which comes in at second behind the Genestealer Cult army, which has 28 individual models, and we'll have a look at that list a little bit. The list itself doesn't look too fast, but it has a mix of heavy hitters and units to stand on objectives and fire away. It feels like a come at me bro style list while you wait for your opponent to come at you and then you just fire away until the problem goes. So for the Indomitus Space Marines, you get a few more units than the Necrons. So you get the Primaris Lieutenant, 5 Assault Intercessors, a Blade Guard Ancient, 3 Blade Guard Veterans, and 3 Outriders. So while the Necron list looks to be all about firepower, the Space Marine list is all about getting in close and chopping your enemies apart. From a high level perspective, it seems like this list is more tactically and strategically focused than the Necron list. So you've got to really pay attention to the placement of your Lieutenant and the Blade Guard Ancient to get those crucial buffs in at the right time. And you've also got the Outriders as well, so a little bit of speed going on there and a little bit of hard hitting with the Blade Guard Veterans. The next 3 lists we can actually give some monetary value to because they're all built around the start collecting boxes. So the first one we're going to look at is the Genestealer Cults, and this comes in with a fair few models. We have the Acolyte Icon Ward, 5 Acolyte hybrids with Rock Sword, Demolition Charge, Lash Whip, and Bone Sword, 10 Neophyte hybrids with Grenade Launcher, Mining Laser, Seismic Cannon, Web Pistol, and Power Pick, the Achilles Ridge Rider with the Heavy Mining Laser, 10 Pure Strain Genestealers, and a Jackal Alphys. All but 2 units come from the Genestealer Cult Start Collecting box, which sets you back about 165 Australian dollars. The other 2 units come in at 54 Australian for the Genestealers and 66 Australian for the Jackal Alphys. In total, this is 285. The addition of the Genestealers give you more punch in close combat and overall more models on the table. They also give you more tactical options when it comes to using reserves, as you already have a large number of models on the table, so you're able to move these off the board. For me, as someone who doesn't actually play the game, I think that having more units on the table is going to be a benefit at this points cost, simply because you're going to give more targets for your opponent to choose from. So I think the Genestealer Cult do a good thing with this, where they've got 6 different units that you can actually take. And then next up we have the Chaos Space Marines. So the list that they have is total power of 22, and so you have a HQ unit of Master of Possession, 5 Chaos Space Marines with the Aspiring Champion taking a Plasma Pistol and Chain Axe, 2 Obliterators, and a Venom Crawler. The good thing about this list is you only need the Start Collecting box, and this comes in at 165 Australian. This build looks to be range heavy, but the Venom Crawler can get to objectives fast and clear the way for the units to come in and stand on them. The good thing about this list is that it comes in a single box, with 5 more Chaos Space Marines and 2 Greater Possessed. So even if you do go with this list, you have the option to play around. Instead of taking the 2 Obliterators, maybe the total power allows you to take 10 Chaos Space Marines and split them into units of 2. Because of this box is likely going to work well with the Crusade system, as you'll have more models that you can add into your army as it grows. The final list we have is for the Adeptus Mechanicus, and this is built around their Start Collecting box, just like the others. And with that, you'll get the Tech Priest Engine Seer, 10 Skitarii Rangers, the Scorpus Drune Rider, and 3 Cataphrone Destroyers. Like I said, it uses the Start Collecting box for the Mechanicus, but I think that lacks value games-wise. All you really get is a unit and transport with a HQ, whereas if you look at the Chaos Space Marine box, you get a ton more value. To get close to 25 power, you still need to buy the Cataphrone Destroyers. So you're looking at 165 Australian for the Start Collecting box, and then another 98 for their Cataphrone Destroyers. And that's a total of 263 Australian. The list itself doesn't seem to have the options that the others do, and purely focuses on firepower over close combat. I can't imagine that if the army gets in close combat with Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, or even the Genestealer Cult, that it will last very long. And because of that, I don't particularly rate this, and almost also from a monetary value, I just don't think you're getting that much value for money at all. So without knowing the price for the Indomitus box, it's hard to say if the Necrons or Space Marine list is cost effective. But like I said at the start of the video, it's likely it's going to be amazing value, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. And until we know that, I have to say, out of the lists that were featured on the Warhammer Community website, it would have to be the Chaos Space Marines that is the most value for money. Simply because you only need to buy the one box, which already comes out cheaper, but you also get a handful of extra models. So you can already start playing around with different builds for combat patrol games, and you have more models to start building up to the larger games. So what do you think? Do you like the idea of the combat patrol size? And what army are you thinking of starting with? Let me know in the comments below. I have the Chaos Space Marine box set, so it just seems easy just to be like, oh yeah, that's a good list. Let's just go with that. And then, like I've already said, we've got a whole bunch of extra models to play around with. I've also got a lot of Plague Marines that I may be able to use, but I really do like the size of the combat patrol. It's just like this taster of a way to get into the game. All right, that's the end of this video. If you do like this kind of content, click that subscribe button, because more of it will be coming your way soon, particularly as we get more information about 9th edition. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and I will catch you later. Bye.